Hey guys, welcome back to Sightline Strategies. We are here with the awesome Angela Humphreys with So Fabulous back in Somerville. What we're going to do is just a quick part two of the first video about It's So Hot, It's So Fabulous. Angela is a great friend of mine. We love getting together, but what I love to do is I'm trying to take pride in my appearance, or at least up my game just a little bit. And Angela has really helped me, along with allowing me to up that game and still carry a firearm concealed. So Angela, welcome back. You are still busy as ever, right?
Yes.
Just finished up. It is June, and she is just finishing up prom season, right? So you were working pretty heavy, were you not? So how busy were you?
There are 4 of us working for the company right now, and I stayed up till 10 o'clock 6 nights a week because we had not only prom stuff but uniforms and all our regular stuff as well.
So in other words, you're a grinder.
Sounds like
it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I love, my local small business people. So anyways, Angela, what we went over last time was just we showed the pinning of one of my shirts and talked about length and how that affects both style and concealment.
Yes.
In my world, also accessibility. Let's reiterate what we went over talking about specifically men's style and what you see working with men about shirt length. So what do you find is best?
The first thing is to get a good fit, and that is to get the collar first, because we can't change the collar. The next thing is the shoulder length. Make sure that the sleeves start up on the shoulder and not down here.
Okay, that's a good one.
So you're starting with a well-fitting shirt.
Okay.
But the main thing is, if you're using it with a firearm, you want to be able to access your firearm quickly and not get snagged up on a towel or just a long shirt, particularly one that doesn't stretch.
Gotcha.
If it doesn't stretch, it needs to be shorter.
Gotcha. So what we find the length, and what we went over last time, was the length roughly about mid crotch line, correct?
Yes.
All right, regardless of the material or things like that, or pattern or things like that. Good. So she's also taken in shirts for me, as in I follow her advice. I make sure I get the collar, something that fits across the chest and shoulders, because what we're trying to do is keep the eye line away from the waist, correct?
Yes,
now, how can taking in the shirt like we've done before, how can that help?
Because you can make it look fitted and still have enough room to cover a firearm. You can leave it larger on the hips, but not so large it looks like it's got a woman's cut to it, but you can just take it in slightly to particularly show off if there's a good chest. And women like to see a good chest.
Who doesn't?
So we can fit it tight to the chest, so we can see all what's going on there, and just take it out so that the fabric just skims over a firearm and whatever else is being carried.
Okay, what about like on this shirt here, guys? I want Angel to go over what we did here. This is one of my shirts that I brought with her, or brought to her last time. What did we do to this shirt, and why? Why do you do what you do?
Right, well, first of all, we made sure it fit on the collar and the shoulder length here, and that tells me whether this is a shirt worthy than altering or not, because if it doesn't fit there, it's not going to look good no matter what I do to it. So we confirmed it fitted there. We took it in ever so slightly here, so you have the fitted across the chest, but we made sure that you were able to clear your firearm, that it wouldn't create, tuck in here and create shadows around the firearm. And we shortened it. In particular, we cut the towels off. This one had towels on it, and that made it way too long. The hard thing with a towel is it can get snagged under the butt.
Gotcha. Yep, I've experienced that before with dry fire, things like that. These shirts, that's what we did there. So again, trying to increase that style just a little bit while not getting, or increasing the accessibility. So I actually made the shirt better. So remember, we actually took the shape up here, just underneath the pocket approximately, and that was to create that more of a shape and allowing the shirt to drape. Okay, so it's again bringing the eye line above the waist, or keeping it above the waist. You actually said something off camera about the buttons that you do with your shirts. Tell me about that. Step over here so we stay in camera. Tell me what you do with the buttons there. That was kind of cool. I like that, with the contrast.
I like to wear a button-down shirt as well sometimes, but sometimes the buttons blend in with the shirt too much. So I like to change them to something funky, either a contrast, or sometimes I'll do each button a different color. It just creates a visual interest, and again, it keeps the eye going up and down rather than being stuck on the waist.
Very cool, because we are visual creatures, and that's what we're going to do there. So that is always awesome. Angel, what have you noticed regarding pattern? You also said something again off camera about patterns, something like this with a smaller pattern versus something like you're wearing right now.
I find it easier to conceal with a larger pattern like I'm wearing. It just the way the shadows are, but any pattern's a good thing. Any pattern is a lot better than a plain shirt because there are already shadows with it. It looks like there are shadows, and then when your shirt, for instance, gets even a little bit snagged on the firearm, there's enough visual interest for you to be like, just salt it before people notice it.
Very cool. Okay.
It doesn't print so much either.
Now guys, going back to the taper here, the cool part about this and the reason that you should get a good tailor, a good seamstress or something like that, work with somebody local, especially somebody awesome like Angela who carries herself, she takes training, she's an instructor, all of those things. So she understands a little bit more than what the average person is going to go through with, or understands what we go through with trying to conceal a firearm along with looking somewhat fashionable, at least in my case, is I come in, I wear my firearm, and she actually tapered this to me. She actually took the length to me. And that's the really big important part is it doesn't cost a lot of money. And what she did was this shirt was actually pretty cheap, but she was actually able to up the game and still keep it under, you know, a very expensive shirt, like something like at a expensive men's store or something like that. So you're still ahead of the game and you're still maximizing your concealment and you're still looking better. So why not? So Angel, thank you so much. I love working with you. You can do pants and stuff as well, right?
Yes, we'll sew anything. Anything, if you can wear it, we can sew it.
Awesome. So, guys, one comment, I'm going to go ahead and say a myth about concealed carry, and Angela and I were talking about this, is what do you think about pants in the waist side in particular, especially with men?
It needs to fit. We can fit pants to you if you absolutely need them bigger because maybe they were tight to begin with anyway. One thing I can do is if you notice that a firearm has moved the center line because it's either a larger firearm or the type of holster is I can take in pants more on one side than the other side, so there's still room for a firearm.
There you go. That's a good tip as well. Also, the one myth though is you don't have to buy larger pants if you're using an inside the waistband holster. If you're using the concealment principles of peaks and valleys as stated by Filster, you're actually going to start concealing with the pants themselves, not necessarily the belt. Okay, so that's just something that you don't need to do. Angela, as always, where can people find you?
I'm on Facebook, So Fabulous Somerville. I have a webpage, sofabuloussomerville.com, and also on Instagram, So Fabulous LLC.
Awesome, and you do all your appointments through Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, awesome, guys. Find someone local. This is just another series that I'm going to do with local businesses and trying to help everybody else out to get better. So as always, guys, thank you for watching. Hold your line. See you next time.